business pains that suck. Hello and welcome to today's video where I'll be playing with you this wonderful game of a spinning wheel, and each time we will be talking about the ultimate pains that really drive business owners insane. I'm Michael K. Krajewski. I love business. I started my first one in 2009 in a very unsexy sector because it was steel manufacturing. But as an engineer, I perfected every aspect of it. I've learned by traveling around the world, learning from the best in business. I've read a ton of books and I love to experiment. So I've really mastered the art of growing businesses, especially in the manufacturing sector. Now, my passion is sharing this knowledge with you because I've successfully exited in 2023. So, please continue to watch. This will be really a lot of fun. It will be a bit of laughter, but also it will be sad because these pains that we'll be discussing really suck. I've also created an ebook that you can download. The link is in the description. The ebook goes into these pains, discusses the ins and outs, how to mitigate against them. So please don't hesitate and download it straight away. So let's crack on. The first one is, let's see, hacking. Imagine your systems being hacked into, your social media accounts being blocked off from you and you don't have access to it. Even worse, someone is putting on some content that completely goes against your company's culture and your values. How do I know it? It happened to us. The content was, some nude pictures. It was hacked by an Indian company and it really took weeks and weeks of toing and throwing. I won't mention the platform, but it's obviously one of the big ones because we had to prove that we are the owners of it. The downside, oh my God, terrible. Customers, they then treat us as laughing stock. Some of them felt sorry, others like, oh, this is funny. So yeah, hacking is never a nice experience. Let's carry on. Next one. What do we have now? Spinning wheel is stopping on. Oof, I thought it's going to be hacking again. But no, it's a no payment. Have you ever had a customer that didn't pay you? Does it suck? It does. Imagine walking out of a supermarket and not paying from it. I mean, you'd be floored. Well, maybe not in the UK. But it's obvious if you've delivered a service, you deserved to be paid for it. It is unfair on you, your people, to basically have a customer that doesn't pay for your service or for your product. Now, how does it feel? Terrible. It really sucks. It's one of those where you just feel the world is unfair. Like you trust people, yet someone has used that trust that you put in them to trick you and then not pay you. This also happens when dealing with large companies. They've got systems inside to prevent payments to smaller companies. We've worked with one of the big construction companies and it took us 6 months to get a payment. After a few months, we had to even prove that we've delivered the goods to site, because when we said, we asked, where is our payment? They said, well, what payment? For the delivery. What delivery? So yeah, that really sucks. And instead of focusing on business growth, you're dealing with someone that should have paid you in the first place with no questions asked. So as we can see, 2 hitters already. They really suck. Let's see what's next. Okay, spinning. Oh no, we've already had it. So I need to either spin it faster or slower. Which one do you think I should go for? Let's go for faster. Let's see where it takes us this time. Unless the wheel isn't balanced, but it should be because I've played other games. Unbelievable. Anyway, I'll try slower then. Lost customer. This one really sucks. You have a customer that's been with you for months, years, and suddenly it's gone quiet. You phone them up and the conversation is awkward because they or trying to tell you, let you know that they've walked away from you and they've gone to one of your competitors. This one's painful. Been there. I know how it feels. You then, if you allow to, then ask, well, why? What's the reason? They might say the price. That also sucks. It's like, no, someone is able to offer a lower price. And sometimes they say it's the shoddy service they received. And then you think, well, should I now lay off, fire someone from my sales department, or maybe the driver or whoever was there at the forefront? So this one also sucks, as all the others do, to be honest. But yeah, losing a customer just sets you, after you've had this conversation, sets you into like a tailspin. You then go deep into your soul, go for some soul searching, and sometimes you even question your whole existence. Like, does your business even make sense? Is it maybe time to pack up? So yeah, this one is really painful. Oh, I can feel it still now. Anyway, let's continue. Now, is it harder or slower? Let's go for really hard. See where this takes us. Okay, so we've had 3 and we've got 12 on this wheel, so still 9 to go. Being a victim of a scam. This one's painful. Happened to me once and happened to my dad as well. I'll explain both. Imagine me acquiring a competitor. It sounds glamorous, but it was buying them out of liquidation. And I had the whole senior management team just about to visit our existing or our main premises. I receive a phone call out of nowhere and someone saying that we've lost a case in court based on a invoice that we haven't paid from 2 years ago. It was a magistrate court in Manchester, and they were claiming that the bailiff is on the way. Am I okay to have the cash ready to pay once the bailiff arrives? And if I want to call the bailiff, here is the number. Like, wow, like, okay, some of it made sense, some of it didn't. The company that we worked with maybe existed, it kind of rung this bell. The scammer found our website, they went through the employees, so they were giving out names. But there were also things that didn't make sense, like mentioning someone who joined after the 2 years ago that they were mentioning. So there were some holes in what they're saying. Long story cut short, I was willing to pay any money because the last thing I wanted is to have this senior management team from this other company visiting us only to see a bailiff locking up the front door. Like, could you even imagine that? So but because I was suspicious, I called the bailiff, and it was a lady in a van driving a car. You could hear her driving, and this just made it all feel so much worse. But then I said, I'm going to call the police because I want the police to be there. And that is what put them off. So this is the first situation. And the second one was my dad, who went for a congress. He's a doctor, so he flew abroad. And someone sent an email to his accountant requesting a payment in euros. And all made sense because he was abroad in the Eurozone. So she made the payment, only to then find out a few days later, like, did you receive the transfer? Like, what transfer? Well, the one you asked for. I didn't ask for a transfer. And there you go. They fell victim of a scam. So this is really painful. And yeah, we all try and do our due diligence, be vigilant, but sometimes you will fall victim, and it really sucks. So unfortunately, it's another one on our list. Well, now let's go for a soft one. See where this takes us. Bad review. All the effort you put into delivering your service or goods, and then suddenly you get a 1-star review. This is painful. Especially if it is not your customer and someone you've never met before. How is it possible? Well, it is. You then go to the providers and say, hey, this is not even a customer. They come back saying, well, it's freedom of speech. Anyone can leave a review. I think, well, hang on a moment. How can someone claim they're a customer, write total rubbish about our company, and they all left alone? Turns out you can't do anything about it and you just have to live with it. But it really sucks. It's painful. It's also painful when it is a legitimate review, but it is an unfair review where everything was fine and you sometimes even bend backwards to deliver on your promise, and then someone says that actually it was late by 2 hours because I don't know, the courier was late, or maybe the box wasn't as perfect as someone expected it. So yeah, this one is painful. I feel your pain because I've been there. Okay, a soft one again. Let's try a soft one. Been there. Let's continue. Losing a job or a project. Now this one is similar to losing a customer, but it's also very, very painful. And now, depending on what you do, if you've got big projects and it requires a lot of work, sometimes even attending a meeting or sometimes a series of meetings, and you have all the signs that they're going to go with you, and suddenly they go quiet. And you're like, well, maybe they're still thinking, or maybe they are so convinced that they're going to go with us that they don't even bother contacting us anymore. Have you been there? I've been there. And then you decide to make that phone call, and they sometimes don't answer. they pretend they don't exist, or they answer and hesitantly they admit that they've gone with someone else. Painful. Very, very painful. Again, sends shivers down my spine, just reminding myself of the lost projects, the ones that you sometimes knew that you are going to win, the ones that you already built the vision of your company growing because you're going to win that project, the media coverage you're going to get, and suddenly, bang, you lose that project. Terrible. Okay, let's continue spinning. Bad review, been there. Let's see. Well, it's going to be trickier and trickier. Okay, this one. A hiree leaving before even starting. I'm laughing only because it's so painful, and it's almost like the irony of the situation. You spend weeks, sometimes months, sifting through thousands of emails and then meeting up with all the candidates. You then find the perfect candidate. You've already agreed the salary, you've agreed the start date. The day approaches and you get this awkward telephone call, either directly from them or sometimes an email or sometimes an agent, and they say, oh, we're very sorry, but they've changed their minds. And it's like, that's just so painful. That really, really sucks. You've already built a picture of your company. You've already envisaged them being part of your team. You've already seen the customers they'll be dealing with, the problems that they will solve, the fact that they will take some workload off you, the burden that has accompanied you for so many years finally will be dealt by this perfect, this ideal candidate, and suddenly it's been taken away from you. This one's painful. Yeah, been there. Sometimes actually the reason is that they just worked out that the travel time is just won't work for them. And once I had the situation where someone worked out that actually during the peak hours it's going to take 1 hour 40 each way, and it's like, I get it. Like, I feel sorry for ourselves, but I understand why someone made that decision. It's just a shame that that wasn't mentioned earlier on, but I guess the interview was done at the middle of the day, therefore they didn't encounter peak hours. But anyway, this is one of the painful things that you can experience as a business owner. Now, as you know, my channel is all about business growth, about scaling your business, about improving productivity, about streamlining operations, about making more, both in terms of manufacturing as well as making more money.
For us, it has been transformational, and I would 100% recommend Michael's training and his knowledge and his wisdom in the field of optimization, systemization, automation, simplification is just amazing. So I would 100% recommend him.
So please subscribe if you are finding this helpful in any way or maybe entertaining, then please help my channel grow and subscribe. Anyway, let's continue. Now, I'm not sure which strategy to decide to go for, the fast or slow spinning. So let's just go for a normal spin. Hopefully it won't be a full circle. Well, it is. Let's continue. So we've got... Well, let's just cheat slightly. Let's just move it by one. So we've got an overwhelmed owner. This one's painful. Like, you don't even have time to think how painful it is. You start a business, you then are the face of the business, all the customers know you, you micromanage your employees, you basically are the centerpiece, the focal point of your business. You then naturally grow because you're good at what you do, therefore you start hiring more people, you have more customers, both referrals and newly acquired ones. So you grow and you reach a tipping point where you just can't handle anymore. But there's no easy way out. Unless you read my book, the Stand Back to Grow book, which is exactly about helping overwhelmed business owners make their business work without them. Why? Well, because once you make your business work without you, it lays the foundations for further growth. You then have the right systems, procedures, the values, the purpose, the right leadership, the right team culture, and everything else to allow your business to grow. How do I know it? I've been there. I speak your language. I'm a business owner. I've grown a business. I've exited it very successfully. And now my mission is to help other business owners succeed as well. So get my book, Stand Back to Grow, available on Amazon in all formats that you would expect. Anyway, let's continue. Hopefully we'll pick something that hasn't been before. An unfair claim. Yeah, perfect. Painful. Yeah, it's one of those business pains that really, really suck. Now, these are two types of claims. One is from a customer. We had one where our driver refused to lift our delivery onto the roof. It was a steel company, citing that the driveway made out of gravel was too unsafe to take this load. So he basically stayed on the road and offloaded it onto the driveway. And it wasn't his sole decision. There was communication between the office. We offered to refund the lifting service, which is an extra fee payable to lift on top of your building. And then, fine, okay, we refunded. I think it was £280 that we refunded. And then only a few weeks later, we received a letter stating, a very official one, stating that I have already sued a few contractors and it is now time to sue you, and I request, and there was a list of the cost incurred based on 2 extra labourers for 2 days and a crane and all of that, and I think it was like over £1,000. But he said that he's happy to not take us to court if we pay a settlement fee of £1,000. I was like, well, this is just so unfair. Like, we've refunded the extra cost. We didn't want an accident to happen on his side. We did everything to the book. And here we are, threatened with court action. So we contacted a solicitor, and a solicitor said that indeed we will win the case, but it's going to cost us more in solicitors and other fees. So it is better for us to pay the £1,000 settlement fee. Now, this one really, really sucks. I thought I'm just going to explode. This is how frustrated I was to find out that this person basically knew all the rules of the games. That he knew that there's a certain limit that he can request as a settlement figure, under which it is not viable for us to I don't know, just say no or just object to it. So it was very painful. I even asked one of our employees to pay it because I just could not physically make that payment. Now, the other type of an unfair claim is when an employee files in a claim, let's say, for personal injury. Now, this is obviously the consequences of all the no-win, no-fee scams, I would say, where someone who was most probably drunk at work, completely out of their own fault, dropping a heavy load onto their foot. Indeed, unfortunately, it was a fractured bone. We paid them their full wage, Everything was sort of looking nicely. We looked after the person. We were in constant communication. And then the claim came in, and the person was directed by the company as to what to do, what not to do, just to play the legal game. And it took us 2 years to get rid of that person. Can you imagine 2 years of someone who was doing, I don't want to swear, but was doing nothing, was coming to work, doing no work, being paid a high fee, and still threatening us at court. I mean, it's terrible. It's one of those things you just think, well, why am I in business in the first place? Have you been there? Have you been in a situation where you just thought, I'm just going to give up, just go back to a normal job where you just don't have to worry about 1,000 things going on? Been there. Got the t-shirt, got the mug. Okay, unfair claims. They really suck. Okay, well, let's see if we're still in luck getting some ones that, we haven't had. Exactly. Competitors nailing social media. Painful. You busy with your projects, with your customers, and then someone inside your company mentions, hey, have you seen X, Y, and Z company? Have you seen what they're doing? And you look at their social media channel and you're blown away. It's like, wow. Like, they've got all these recordings, they've got vlogs, they've got short form videos. They're really nailing it. And you sort of again go into this tailspin and you think, oh my God, like, is this the end for us? Like, I don't have the time to now be involved in all these recordings, and we know where everything is going. It's all now digital, it's all on social media. So this one really sucks. Luckily, it's not as bad. There's a way out of it. I happily help owners with marketing. So just follow my channel. That's the starting point. But also, if you need any help with that, I do run workshops with marketing for manufacturing companies. So if you're interested, just find out. Okay, this one, sucks as hell. But this one probably isn't the worst one here because it's never too late, basically. And there's this momentum. Even if someone's really nailing it, it will take time for them to actually sort of get the benefits of it, but it is high time you really sort of do something about it and take action. Okay, well, let's see how many we've got left, because we've covered quite a few. We've been there. I'm not keeping track of what we've done, but obviously remember everything. Victim of a scam? No, but then again, let's just tip over. Unsubscribing. This one's also painful. It feels like you've lost a customer. It feels like you've lost a relative, someone that already signed up to your newsletter, or someone who was following you, and suddenly they decide to walk away. And again, it sends you into this soul-searching mode, and you think, well, what have I done wrong? Was it the title, maybe too cheesy, or maybe too boring, or maybe it's just off topic, and you really start quite often overthinking it. Whereas maybe someone just subscribed by mistake, or maybe it was just a one-off for them. Nevertheless, when you see a report of your recent mailing campaign and there are unsubscribers, it's never nice, and it does suck. Yeah, it is painful. Okay, now let's continue spinning our wheel. It's not a positive wheel because it's got all the negative things that a customer can have. Now, actually, do you know what? I'm going to go through them because maybe we've covered them. Let's see. Hacking, done that. No payment on best employee. Oh, this one's painful. Have you been there? You've got a great employee, or maybe it's a manager, someone who's been with you for a few years. Or maybe not. Maybe someone who's just joined you and is a superstar. Someone who has been just a few weeks, but you already know that this is an A player. This is someone outstanding. You already build in your mind this vision of your company growing around this person. You might think, this person, one day I'm going to make him a shareholder. And you've got this vision in your mind. And suddenly it might be just passing by in a corridor saying, would you have a minute today? I would like to sort of have a chat. even that's never nice. Or someone just walks by your desk and says, I've got this letter for you. And it's never good. You know that. I know it. And then you have this meeting, and you know by the body language, the way they walk into the office, and the way they puzzle, they don't know how to phrase it, you know what's coming. And then finally they say that they're leaving. This one's painful. It hits you straight in the gut. It draws the life out of you. It's terrible. And again, it's one of those that you never feel okay afterwards. The afternoon, the evening, you spend thinking things through, like, what did you do wrong? What could you have done? Maybe there's a way I can save that person. Maybe if I offer them a pay rise. And all the other things. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, this one really sucks. It's such a drawback. It feels like you've made 5 steps backwards. And with all the hope, and I think it's the hope that's taken away from you, the vision, the wonderful pink glasses world that you've already envisioned, suddenly being taken away from you. I think that is what really makes this one suck so much. But yeah. Okay, now let's see if there's anything else left. Competitors, victim of a scam, unsubscribing, losing job, bad review, hiree leaving before even starting, terrible, overwhelmed owner, yep, read my book, hacking, no payment, best employee. Yeah, we've done all of them. Well, let's just give it a final spin, just for the sake of it. It's wonderful. Look at this wheel inside. It's just perfect. And what are we stopped on hacking? Oh no, I hope this doesn't happen to you, because it is terrible. And quite often companies have to pay a ransom. It's never mentioned in media, but a lot of even the big companies, when you hear about it in the news that they have IT problems, they quite often pay a ransom. How do I know it? From an IT security guy. So I hope you enjoyed my wheel of business pains that really suck. And I can only guess that if you're in business, just by going through these ones, you also felt the pain that I felt. So yeah, if you enjoyed this and you found it helpful, please remember to subscribe and obviously like this video and follow me for more business insights. I love business, everything to do with business. I love working with business owners. I love when companies grow, when they excel, when they accelerate. And this is what I do now, helping business owners. I also run various webinars and also workshops and sometimes 3-day seminars. So if you're interested in any of them, just find out and let me know. And remember to download my ebook, because it contains a lot of information how to avoid some of these pains so that it doesn't drive you insane. And you'll also find various ways how to cope and minimize the risk of falling victim to any of these pains. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you in the next video.